Hello, hello, my dear friends. Welcome back to elenasbarre and the resurgence of sanity. How are you doing, guys?
Good.
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 Good to see you. Yeah, today we have an interesting topic. It's kind of based on the topics that we've been elaborating for the past few weeks, I would say, especially the recent article that I wrote about security. And then I prepared a couple of formulas that I want you guys to look at. And I know that Steve left me a comment saying that SFH doesn't map directly to SKM. That one we will talk about, okay? Anyway, guys, if you haven't read that article, please go read it. Tell us what you think about it, especially women. Tell us what gives you the sense of security in the relationship. And yeah, remember that you are participating in this discussion at your own risk and discretion, especially this applies to women. Um, yeah, if you don't want to be mentally challenged, maybe you just skip the video and go do the crazy thing that you are doing. Okay. Anyway, guys,
Okay. I need to add something here.
go.
Your trigger warning applies even more so to this stream because we are going to plow some virgin territory. What do I mean by that? Well, it's like the way the U.S. was settled. When we moved west, the farmers moved in and plowed ground that had never been plowed before. They uncovered things. Well, dirt.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not talking about dirt here, but we're going to some things that have not been really discussed before. And I'm going to have to reveal some personal details, some personal experiences as to how I arrived at these conclusions. Uh, we think that men think and then arrive at conclusions. And women just, I've said this before, women just experience and then form conclusions. Well, yeah, kind of true. But I've experienced things, observed things, actions of people and women. And then afterwards, gee, that just doesn't make sense. So then I have to think about it and what's really going on there. So that's how I come up with my stuff. I reflect, yeah, I think about it, but yeah, I process through my experiences and observations of others and then have to form a concept of that. Okay, it's the way engineer's mind works. And believe it or not, a lot of the red pill is there because of men with engineers' minds. A few of the pickup artist guys were actually trained as engineers. So they understand the process and then what makes things work, and then they proposed it. So yeah, you can listen to psychologists. They have certain skills that I don't have, but I have a certain approach to things that they don't have. So I throw out a theory. Okay, you know what? Take pot shots at it. I don't care. If you can refine it, great. Then we'll get closer to the truth. So, yeah, this episode probably is going to get a little bit detailed. I'm going to have to reveal some detailed personal information. I don't think it's that bad, but yeah, you're free to judge me if you want.
Well, you're too old to care anymore.
Yeah, I mean, if I ever find a woman that I'm think is worth pursuing, she's going to have to know these things. If the world knows these things, yeah, okay, whatever. You know what? My shit is not as bad as a lot of other people's. So, yeah, feel free. just because I'm talking about it doesn't mean that I'm.
No, it's actually good that you are sharing this experience with younger men in particular, because and unique too, because how else would young men learn when they don't have good role models in front of them?
They can learn by getting the experience and processing through it,
Yeah.
or I can tell them about my experience. And so they can walk in and understand, yeah, okay, in this case, he made the right decision. Oh, well, I guess most of these, I think I made the right decision.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, okay, what happens if you make, oh, it's a simple decision. You have opportunities. Comes down to this. Do you bed her or do you not bed her? And most of these experiences come from when I chose not to. So you
Like
can
to
still
take
learn a lot about women when you choose not to.
not to.
When the opportunity is presented right there to you, you don't
Mm-hmm.
have to take it.
Well, exactly, and this is what we've been trying to tell men, that men don't actually need sex. You know, they want it, but they don't need it, because the moment they assume this female falsification bubble that women are trying to sell, that gentlemen, you need us, right? You need this thing that we have, the only thing that we have to offer, right? And men become slaves. They are operating under her frame. She is controlling, she's in charge, she can manipulate him into doing whatever she wants him to do, because he is operating under this scarcity mindset that, if he doesn't do all of those things, then she's not going to put out, right?
Right. So what's our theme for today?
Well, today I'm trying to actually summarize, and I wanted to ask you guys how you want to do it, because all of this seem to be like very deep topics, and I'm trying to get at what women are looking for in a relationship, what women want to feel, okay, in a relationship. So they want to feel secure, they want to feel sexually desired, right? And then they want to be loved. This is based on what you told me, Steve.
Right.
And
I think that's
Not what
true.
they say, but this is what they actually want.
this is what they actually
Correct.
want. Yeah.
Right. Not what
Yeah.
they say. That's on
Hmm.
the whole nother thing.
Yeah, and then a man, how would men treat a woman? So they would spank a woman. This would actually
Oh,
give
that's the
me.
thing. That's the thing that she wants to talk about today.
I
There you
really,
go.
really want to talk about it, because I did write an article about it. And ladies, if you actually are willing to challenge your beliefs, okay, despite all of the feminist efforts to convince you otherwise, if you say, okay, feminism no longer works, what's going on there, go read that article and don't take it personally, please, okay? We are just trying to figure out the truth there. And look, spanking is the necessary part of feeling security.
Okay.
And this is
You're
what I'm
you're
talking about
backing
in
it.
that
You're
article.
backing into this one.
Yeah.
A title today is What Makes Women Feel Secure.
Yeah.
Okay, your answer is spanking.
Well, it's not just
Okay.
spanking, but it's
No,
part
it's
of
not just. Okay, but we're gonna say,
it.
man, this makes no sense. Okay, and I thought that way. But yet, my experience tells me, yeah, women actually desire that. Why the hell do they desire this? Makes no sense. Okay, so let's boil it down. What makes a woman feel secure? It's restraint.
Yes.
So we're going to talk about the aspects of that. We're not talking about heavy core BDSM or all that kind of stuff. But yeah, okay. We're talking about
and just
this
say,
dynamic.
and just to be clear, I hate saying that phrase. I hate whatever. But no, we're not saying go beat a woman.
Yes.
No,
No.
no.
Oh, you can spank her a little bit.
Okay. Yes. Okay.
That
That's different.
That brings up the point. We're talking about it from a what works perspective and what the female wants perspective, not from the male gets to control her perspective. Okay?
exactly. Yeah.
It's not about what the man wants to do. It's about what the woman needs and how she desires certain things that, gee, this doesn't really make sense. I'll explain how I figured out how does this make sense.
Yeah, because you are the one who actually came up with these acronyms.
Okay.
And okay, so
Hey,
we are just going to focus on the first part. Let me show the formula to guys just to give them the idea, and then we will go back into this topic. We will target each element individually because I think it's a broad topic, and I want you guys to have the full agenda of where we are going, and then we will break it apart. Okay, and then you can correct the formula too, guys. Okay, I'll just quickly share it with you. So I came up with actually two formulas that I united into one, but let me share this one first. Okay. So what women want to feel is they want to feel secure, they want to feel sexually desired, and they want to feel loved. Okay, let me remove here. I need to remove that. How do I do that? Gosh, it's been a while since I had to do it. Okay, for now. Okay, so that you can read it. So, what did men traditionally do? I'm kind of linking it to traditional treatment that women received from men versus the modern treatment, right? The feminist treatment. Okay, so traditionally, a man would apply restraint, discipline, correction. They would spank a woman, right, when necessary, in a good way, right, because she needs it. Then they would maintain frame, impose standards, boundaries, consequences on her. They would regulate her emotions to prevent her from emotional spiraling. And then, of course, the traditional duties of a man that feminists always remind men of is financial and physical protection that all women want that, and then of course execute upon his natural authority over her. But this is deemed the restraint, discipline, correction, spanking, even to some extent, they are all deemed illegal today. So a man can get into a lot of trouble, and then because women are the followers, you can see the arrows here. This leads, it's not a guarantee, but if we were in a patriarchal social order, this would lead us to her having a healthy amount of fear towards her man, executing upon his natural authority and imposing boundaries and consequences on her, right? And she would even serve him as a helpmate, just like God designed. Is it likely to happen in a matriarchy, in gynocentric social order? Well, I don't know, guys. You see, both of you have been falsely accused of doing things, or not doing things. It doesn't matter, really.
it
Hey,
does
hey,
matter. Okay.
I mean, the results, like whether you do it or not, she can still falsely accuse you of things. Let me remove this one for now.
None. Okay. Okay. Here comes the first personal detail.
Mhm.
Okay, you got to bring us back to the other screen.
Okay, hold on. Let me remove this one. Okay.
Okay. So my second wife, she came from, well, it took a long time for us to get married because she was in Canada. We had a few years where we were conversing online. So we had to share a lot of things. So, yeah, she liked to be spanked. Okay, I spanked her. Not out of punishment, out of fun.
Mm-hmm.
It was playful. Yeah, it aroused her. Okay, great. We had some fun times. And then, okay, well, she got more serious about her religion since it was a second marriage for both of us, and we were Catholic. She decided she wanted to go to a brother sister type arrangement where we didn't have sex. Okay. Once that happened, okay, the sexual act is an act of dominance.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, okay, she understood the concept and loved the concept of consensual non-consent. Okay, so there was a little game where she would struggle. Oh, okay, fully agreed. She would struggle and I would overcome and have my way. And hey, that worked. You know what? When we stopped doing that, then she started to disrespect me and eventually develop contempt for me.
Mm-hmm.
When she accused me of talking to her daughter and having some desires for her daughter, yeah, that's bullshit. But she never accused me of any of the things I actually did to her. So you got to take that as a data point.
Mm.
If you are dominant enough to give her what she wants, including, playful spanking, a little bit of restraint activities, whatnot, and she wanted that, and she's not guilty about any of those things, she's not going to accuse you of that in the future. The contrary thing is, if you don't do that, she will likely invent the fear of you doing that and accuse you of creating that fear. But if she's experienced doing that and it didn't trigger the fear, then she doesn't have any guilt and she doesn't have to project a false claim on you. So my conclusion is actually being physically dominant with a woman who wants it, accepts it, and it's agreed upon is not dangerous.
Mm-hmm.
Or, I mean, it's not, there's no guarantees here, guys.
Yeah,
But
we are talking
you are in
probabilities. Mhm.
actually, I think you're in greater danger by not doing it than doing it.
Mm-hmm.
Because she does not feel uh protected or dominated, but not in a like really harmful way, right? Not in a She doesn't feel that she is taken care of emotionally. Women want to feel that restraint. They want to be in their place, but secure, yet sort of not, but really are. They want to have that weird fantasy thing. If there's a
Okay.
reason why 50 Shades of Grey is such a big bestseller. It's a terrible book. I know it's trash, but it does tell you how demented the female mind can be.
No. It's not demented. It's how
Yeah,
it is.
Yeah, and how
Okay,
it's
just
no,
it's
accept it.
no,
nature.
no. It's twisted nature.
Ah.
No, it's not twisted nature.
Okay, Nick, I'm
No,
curious.
it
Why
is.
do you think it's twisted nature?
This is women's feelings in a state of sin without restraint. So this is them given over to their more animalistic emotional nature versus still having that nature where they want to be dominated, but it still has a certain amount of restraint and it's not totally given over.
So, are you saying that
Okay.
gray? In guys, are you familiar? I'm asking the audience with the 50 Shades of Grey. We are talking about this movie, and the relevant, the related book. So he didn't restrain her enough. Like, I mean, like your animalistic instincts and everything that Nick just described. Didn't he restrain her?
Well, okay, this Nick and I seem opposed, but I think I agree with him. But I have a different take. Women desire restraint. And because she knows, okay, remember, as a man, okay, what is your cycle? What? I don't have a cycle. I'm just horny all the time. Or, yeah, I can take it or leave it. And, it's kind of, I go through the month this way. A woman does not experience that. She has her cycle. And, sometimes estrogen is more dominant. Whoa, we got that. Oh, she's having her period or PMS. Her emotion, her hormones drive her emotions. She does not go through the month in a steady state condition. So she knows that she gets a little bit erratic or a little bit weepy or teary or whatever when, that time of the month comes along. So on one hand, she will claim that she can be in the workforce and do a competent job all week, all month long. Yes, she can be a judge and render the same judgments, regardless of where she's at in her cycle. But other women, when something goes wrong, they say, "Oh, I was PMSing." Or it was that time of the month, which you're supposed to use as, oh, okay, that's an excuse. So they say both, but their emotions are so erratic at times that they cannot control it. So they kind of want some external controls to give them a protective boundary. So women actually view restraint in a philosophical way as security because it bounds her from her erratic emotions. Does that make any sense, Elena?
Yeah, it does. I 100% agree with you. I was just curious in regards to that 50 Shades of Grey, because you guys started it, okay? I blame you. I blame you for bringing it up. I'm just curious in terms of their intersexual dynamics, because they broke apart in the end. She didn't want that kind of relationship anymore. So he was sexually restraining her. Am I right? I mean, obviously she was sexually satisfied with him that she.
I don't think it was primarily about sex. Okay, it comes out in the sexual way.
Yeah.
But she didn't experience enough
mind.
restraint in
This is
her
what
life.
Yeah.
So she wanted restraint. And how is that come out? It comes out in a natural way, your sexual desires and what you want to do. Now, I mentioned this to Nick a while ago, and he agreed that when you're celibate or not with a woman, your fantasies or expectations can kind of get more extreme. I would imagine that's true for women too. When you're not expressing something, your imagination is very imaginative at times. And when a woman is not experiencing the security and restraint, how is she going to achieve that? Well, how does women achieve anything? How does a woman get a husband? Oh, she looks attractive.
The mask she
She wears skimpier clothes to reveal her body to attract a man. How does she control a man? by giving sex or withholding sex. Women, see, use sex to get control and to also satisfy themselves. So the fact that this desire for restraint, this unconscious need for restraint, is exhibited in a sexual arena, hey, it's just a feature of women. I don't see it as a big flaw. How it's expressed might be sinful, as Nick says. It's not in the proper way, but the underlying desire, it's just natural.
Okay, so what in your mind, what kind of restraint was Anna, or what was her name, the character's name, looking for in that relationship with Gray? Because if sex wasn't it's say if sex let's say if sex wasn't enough for her, the sexual restraint that she got wasn't enough for her, what else, what other type of restraint was she looking for in the relationship?
I don't know if I ever watched that movie from the beginning. I do remember the movie Secretary.
Okay.
Did you
Mhm.
did you ever watch that one?
No, I don't think so. I need to put I need to put it on my list of secretary.
That happened
I, I
before 50
I
Shades.
haven't even read the book. I just look at summaries online of
Okay.
Okay, here,
yeah.
I don't think I watched 50 Shades.
I
So
watched
I'm
it
gonna,
long time ago. Long time ago. I might
but
need
I
to
did
rewatch
watch
it.
the
Mhm.
movie Secretary.
Okay. Well, tell me based on secretary. I think the plot might be similar, right?
I think it is similar. So
Hmm.
this kind of quiet, mousy, but attractive, dressed very modestly, very covered up, starts working in this attorney's office. She's timid and all that. And she's not blossomed at all. She doesn't really have a personality that is outgoing. So she's obviously looking for something, and he starts to exhibit some boss control over her, telling her what to do.
Hmm.
And it gets a little bit kinky. Uh, and he does spank her. One of the first scenes in there. And she responds to that. Someone sees me as a sexual being. And he's providing some, he's paying attention to me. And yeah, there's some aspect of constraint. So then she kind of, her personality comes out, and they form this whole interplay dynamic. Now, you think it's all him dominating her, but it's her, the way she responds. It's there's a back and forth there. And then as the movie progresses, yeah, okay, through the various scenes and whatnot, at the end, you can see she just relishes the role, and she's actually glowing and more secure as a person. And there are scenes in there that show her insecurities kind of being addressed, dare I say, healed by his dominance of her. And it turns into a love story at the end. But a kinky love story.
So how
So
did they marry, or how did the story end? Did they separate?
I don't, okay, for the majority of the movie until like the very end, they did not have penetrative sex. Then at the end, they do. And it doesn't show them marrying, but it implies there's a long term LTR here.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, I think this is all about sex. Most of this stuff, yeah, it's sexual, but it's not about penetrative sex. It's so there's something else here. What is that? Why do women desire this? Okay, you, you just accept that they do.
Yeah, it's interesting. There was another older movie, guys. You just reminded me of that movie, Steve, by talking about the secretary movie. It's another 9.5 weeks. It's called Another 9.5 weeks. I watched it
Yeah,
long time ago. It's from the 1997. So from the 90s era. And yeah, the guy was dating with a woman, and then basically he was like twisting her in all sorts of pretzels, and like she really enjoyed it, but then she wanted more. And they it looks like in the end they just broke up because she didn't get what she wanted. And yeah, I'm just curious because I don't think sex is enough for women in terms of restraint and
no, it's not.
I'm gonna
You
share
know
something. I'm gonna share
what's
something.
that,
It's kind
Nick?
of funny.
oh,
I'll
go
share
for
Okay.
it.
something kind of funny. Yeah, it's kind of funny. I gotta pull it up. Come on. Okay. And I go to studio, share screen.
Hmm.
Mm, trying to find it. Trying to find it. Hold on. Oh, there it is. It's under Google search. So I gotta do that. The window, Chrome tab, Google search. Where's the Google search? Right there. Can y'all
Hmm.
see that?
Yep. Oh,
Steve.
Steve, where are you? This is right about his alley. I remember that live stream that you guys did a while ago about advertising, old advertising, where we were analyzing how it changed, and men
Yeah.
were spanking the women.
Well, okay. Was that controversial when it came out? Was that
I don't
scene
know.
controversial?
No,
I
I
don't
don't
think
think
so.
so. Yeah, it
It
was part of
wasn't.
life. It was part of life. This is how men were treating their women back then. Okay,
And
the
There you go.
retcons. Okay, everyone wants to return to the 1950s, right? Or before the big boom, before all of the craziness started, like they say. But like, okay, if you want to bring back this kind of treatment that the women were getting from men, because they only want to see like, oh, like the family without changing the social order, the existing social order that we have right now. They want the aesthetics of the 1950s, but they don't actually want to bring the
uh,
beauties
no,
and like that.
yeah, kinda, but no.
No, okay.
The tradcons try to deny this aspect,
Mhm.
but yet, oh, and the feminists try to deny this, but yet they're kink positive. In other words, oh yeah, let your freak flag fly. Whatever's consensual, you can do, and they dabble in these whatever. Okay, back in the 50s. Oh, yeah, okay. Shows John Wayne spanking a woman. And, oh, okay, well, did she file charges against him afterwards? No, she settled down and, yeah, okay. Kind of the story implies that after the fact, she liked it. Oh, how far back does this go? Gee, isn't there that Shakespeare play, Taming of the Shrew?
Yeah.
Did Kate, was she a happier person after she was tamed?
Yes.
This theme seems to be kind of part of human existence.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, women want to be tamed, whether they admit it or not. Ladies, you can disagree, you can dislike it as much as you like, as you
So,
want,
so,
but it's
so
unavoidable.
what women really need is against the law.
Exactly. So let's go back to that formula, guys. Okay. Thank you, Nick, for bringing us back. I'm going to show it again. We are going to look at it. Okay. And hold on here. Let me remove this one for a second so we can see it. So yeah. If she gets that kind of restraint from a man, she is going to have more respect for him. Um, she is going to enjoy serving him, actually being in her place, right, being put into her place by her man. And then a sexual desirability, this is what we were just talking about, so he could be physically restraining her. He And here the idea, guys, that I wanted to talk to you about is when men operate under the mindset that they don't need sex but they want sex, and they take it whenever they want it, instead of like, oh, I need it, and then their need drives everything that they do. It's not on the same level. They have the sexual desire for her, right, but it's not like on the same level as they need food to survive. This is something I talked to my husband about. Sex is not on the same level, so therefore it's not a need. It's a desire.
It is a need and it is a desire, but to be ruled by it isn't another thing. If he
Mm,
doesn't get it, eventually she's going to leave him, or he's going to leave her, or they'll both be miserable together.
yeah.
I mean,
Well, and then if men flip the script and behave in a way that she starts begging for sexual proximity, and she will be more interested in having sex with him, I think it's actually a healthier intersexual dynamics when a man doesn't give into it and she wants it, you know, versus him begging for it, and then she will be chore playing him. She will be running all sorts of emotional manipulations to uh, negotiate that genuine burning desire, and he won't even succeed because it's the wrong kind of mindset, if you will, when he's operating under the slave mentality where she's in charge and he needs it, and then he just begs for it, you know.
So here's what happens. Okay, this is a story from my first marriage. Uh, I had call it the egalitarian mindset.
Mm-hmm.
I was clearly not in charge. I had the nice guy mentality. If I'm nice enough to her,
Mm-hmm.
I will be loved and this will work out. Okay, so she had no restraint. Okay, there's other issues here. Okay, this is not a one aspect. But she would yell at me and she would get physical with me. I didn't understand that. So when she escalated, I escalated. And it got physical, both sides. But my physicality is actually stronger than hers. So when I used that, oh man, bad. That was bad and that hurt. And okay, nothing came of that. But I A man, if he's pushed, eventually every man has his breaking point. She found mine. So after that, okay, that incident, yeah, the marriage continued. She didn't change, but I never got physical again. And she beat the crap out of me.
That's
And
interesting.
yet she complained later on that she was in fear of me as she was beating the crap out of me.
Okay. Steve, I had the same thing. Same thing. She was
So,
in
okay,
fear of herself while she was beating me.
so I learned to control myself, but I didn't
Yeah.
control her. So therefore she was afraid. Now, at that point, there was absolutely nothing I could have done, no other course of
Uh,
action. So what I'm saying, okay, what I learned is restrain a woman early. And
Yeah.
okay, spank her early in the relationship. And then she has the experience of that. Okay, not meanly, not in anger, in fun.
Yeah.
Believe it or
She,
not.
she knows her
I,
place. Like, yeah, she.
yeah, but it's not even about that. You don't even have to do that. You don't have to have any intent. You spank a woman, she gets aroused. It's a fact.
Well, it's you showing your dominance, and what do women do when they see a dominant masculine man who, doesn't take their shit? They get wet. I mean, yeah, it is what
Yeah.
it is. Yeah.
So, okay, now you can, if you're two young men who've not experienced this, you can think I'm nuts, but I'm telling you, it exists. You can go through life and eventually you might figure it out by the time you're an old man, like me. But
Mhm.
then it's almost too late to use it.
Yeah.
Um, and you may say women shouldn't be this way. Well, okay,
Well, they are what they
good
yeah,
are.
luck.
they
Good
Mhm.
are what
luck.
they are. You have to love them for who they are, and that requires you to take the dominant role
Mhm.
in a benevolent way. Now, should you hurt a woman?
No. Well, harm, no.
Harm,
Harm, no.
yeah, harm versus
Yeah,
hurt.
harm.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Yes, you should hurt a woman.
Yeah.
Okay, now let me explain this. She's going to trot out, oh, you
Yeah.
hurt my feelings. You shouldn't have done that. Bullshit. I'm going to go by principles. And if I feel something, and if it hurts your feelings, I don't
Mm.
care. I'm still going to say it. Now, let's do an analogy. Think of this analogy. You have a young child, about 4 or 5 years old. You're walking down the sidewalk, and this child is kind of out of sorts, throwing a mini tantrum,
Mhm.
and separates from you when you get to the crosswalk, pulls out of your hand and darts into the street. And a car's coming along, screeches to a stop. Child's dead in front of that car, could have gotten run over, potentially killed. What do? You grab that child, you bring it back and say, no, I'm upset with you. And you give that child a sound spanking. Oh, you hurt the child. Okay. Now that child learns, don't do that because you'll get hurt.
Yes.
So you hurt the child, provided discipline, boundaries, but the intent was to prevent the child from getting harmed.
Mhm.
And that sometimes those boundaries are physical. So, oh, could you have done a sweet talk? Oh, child, you shouldn't do that. You have me all worried about
Gentle
that.
parenting.
Don't do the gentle parenting approach. Or, no, you do that again. this is going to happen
Yeah.
to you again. I'm not putting up with this shit.
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
That's
now, which is
what
the
I do.
loving approach?
Nick, you were saying something. Mm-hmm.
Just look, you deal with the situation. It's actually to prevent harm that you
Mm-hmm.
cause hurt. Whether it's just, you're not harming them through spanking, but you're administering discipline. You might hurt their feelings with the right words you say, but you're not actually harming them. Oh, but according to the state, all that's some sort of, abuse, right? But actually, that child would actually be worse off if you did nothing. Child might be dead.
Yeah, without
Um,
hurting their feelings, you are
yeah.
harming them. You are
So
harming them.
I'm not directly equating women to children, but there are certain analogies here. If you are Christian and you believe in the hierarchical
Yeah.
model, the man is in charge. He has the authority over his children and his wife. And so what's that Bible verse, Nick? Man is the glory of God and woman is the glory of man.
Oh, 1 Corinthians 11.
That's why a man worships with his head uncovered and a woman worships with her head covered. This says there is a hierarchy. So,
Mm-hmm.
is the man responsible to the woman? Yeah, in certain ways, but primarily his responsibility is to God. Is the woman responsible to God? Yeah, kind of, but her primary responsibility is to her husband and then up through God to God. So, does that give her the ability to say, well, I don't feel right about doing that. I think you're wrong. I'm not going to follow your lead. Sorry, no. Your
Mm-hmm.
first obligation is to follow your boss, follow your leader, follow in the hierarchy, just like you do at work.
Yeah.
Yes, there are restrictions on what your boss can tell you to do,
Well, and
but they
see,
come from
this.
outside.
Okay,
Just
guys.
like there's restrictions in what your husband can force you to do, they come from God. And if you follow him and he gives you an illegal order and you follow it, the responsibility is still on him.
Exactly. This dynamics with your boss, it's legal. This is why we see so many, like in that movie Secretary that you've mentioned, or when a woman starts working for the corporation and she starts cheating on some guy, who is higher up the hierarchical chain over here, and it makes total sense. It's just somehow we see this. It's okay, Nick.
Okay,
It's like the wrong
so
kind of the wrong the same hierarchy that is supposed to be in the family. We see it with boss employee dynamic.
so how many women, good Christian women, will
Hmm.
tell their husband, this, and this, I'm not going to do because I don't want you getting any ideas. Okay, maybe they're kinky things, maybe whatever. Uh, but it's her feelings that they're sinful, not the actual fact that they're sinful. But she has to warn him, you can't do that. Now, how many of these same women will go to their boss and say, well, I'll do everything you say, except if you call me into your office and tell me to strip naked, I'm not going to do it. They don't have to tell their boss that because they know it's not going to happen. So why the hell do they have to put these preliminary restraints on their husband to prevent him from doing something that
Well,
he's
Steve, it's
probably not
because
inclined to do
okay,
anyway?
I think I have the answer, but let's elaborate on it. Um, I think that if their boss demanded them to do it, like, and he was playing the game and everything, right? They would do it for their boss because of
Maybe,
the hierarchy.
maybe.
Maybe. Well, there is. pretty high chance
Probably
there.
somewhere.
Much higher than her restraining her husband and playing him, right? Like she would have a
Mhm.
much higher chance of having sex with her boss at work rather than having sex with your husband.
No, she's not she's
Maybe
not aroused
because
by her
he
husband.
actually has authority over her.
Exactly, because of
Right.
that hierarchy, in the workforce, in the workplace that she's following. So she's still aligning herself with that
Hey,
hierarchy
nature comes
at
out
work.
somewhere where it's denied. Where nature's denied in one place, it will come
In,
out in another.
in
We've said
another
this
place.
over and over again. Yeah.
Exactly.